it's Lindsay from Fresh Lit Tuition. Today I am making a sensory paint bag. So loads of kids are at home and they really don't want to pick up a pen or pencil to write or draw. It's too much like schoolwork right now. Schools have been cancelled, so why bother? But this is quite a fun activity to do that can get them to still use those skills, but in a different way. So I have just a plain bag. I'm limited on which ones I have because I'm trying to go plastic free, so I don't buy these anymore. This is the only one I've got, but the pattern shouldn't make too much of a difference as long as it's see-through and can seal. So you need to open your bag and then get a couple of different paints. So I happen to have a set of these. There's like 20 in the set for £8, so it's not a lot of money, but any sort of normal household paint will work absolutely fine. So what you need to do is put a little blob of the paint in a corner of the bag. And you can do this with 1 or 2 colours. You can be extravagant and do 4, which is what I'm aiming for. Any more than about 4, everything just tends to end up like a big brown mess. But eventually it's all going to look like that anyway. So if you want to try more, go for it. So for now, my splodges are just about this sort of size, and you can see they're quite far apart at the moment. So I'm going to put that one in there, and then I happen to have a white, so I'm going to put white in the center because then you're going to get some paler colors, and as you mix things, less likely to get a big brown splodge. So there we go. Any colours will work. Doesn't have to be specific types of paints. They're going to stay in the bag, so this is not a messy activity as long as you remember to seal it. When you're doing it, just don't leave your paint sitting open if you happen to have a little person near you when you're doing it, because they might really enjoy splodging the paint in themselves. Once you've got your bag, it should look something like this with whatever colours you choose. And what I'm going to do is seal it. Now, I would recommend that you don't just rely on these little seals, particularly with small hands. They're very keen to get them into the paint and they could open these. So I have a bit of packing tape and I'm going to stick it along the top edge like that. It helps if it's straight. That's a really good start. And then fold it over so that you are completely sealing the bag closed. So you will not be able to add more paint. This is it. This is what you got to work with. Okay. Just for showing you, I'm going to attach mine to a clipboard so that I can do this. Okay. So the idea is that you can hold the bag and splodge the paint. So you can splodge, any of the paint colours in any direction, and I'm going the wrong way because I'm doing this in a mirror image. Okay, so what you have to do is quite a lot of splodging. So you can use a finger to kind of streak one colour through the other. You start to get patterns mixing, and you'll find with these bags it doesn't take that much to get it to move around, and you can make something very pretty. A little bit of air inside the bag helps because then everything moves and it doesn't stick. So very quickly I've got something like this. Now what you might find is that less paint or same color here, I can't do that, here and here, or at the red and yellow sections would mean that you get kind of like a star pattern going on. But what's really important here is that you now use this for drawing shapes. So you can push a little bit harder against the bag to make a pattern. And what you're actually trying to do is move the paint from that section or mix it up. Okay. So once you've got a good mixture, you can then set this down, and this is your drawing surface. So I've got a bit of a splodge going on. I need to get a bit more of that blue down into the center, I think. Let's bring that way. And then maybe get some yellow up there. Oh, yeah, now I'm definitely making a mess. There we go. You can also go further up the bag. And that's when you'll start to see, if you're dragging it right up from the bottom to the top, you'll see lots of different colors being mixed there. Ooh. So now I've got this section of really well mixed colors. Okay, so that's your bag. It's ready to go. Some kids really just like to squidge it. I mean, for young children, this might be enough to just sit and slide with their fingers and push the paint from one place to another. So you can see when you've moved enough paint, you'll get more light through it. But in those areas where there's more paint, you won't get any light through it at all. If you have a bright sunny day, you can hold it up to the sun and see how much colour is passing through, and so you can make colour shadows on the wall. But what I really like to do is lay it flat on a surface, so a clipboard, and then you are using it to write or to draw. If you've got enough paint in here, it will be easy enough to do. If you don't have enough paint, then this will start to feel like you're not moving anything around, in which case you might want to carefully peel the tape off and try again. Just put a bit more paint in. So you can make a shape. I'm attempting to draw a heart and it's not going that well. I'll pick something easier. Let's see. I don't think I have quite enough paint. That's irritating. Oh, there we go. Okay. So you can get your child to trace the letter A. And I'm not sure if that actually shows up on the camera at all. That's rather unhelpful. So you just want them to trace a shape, and then they can splodge the paint around and make something different, and then trace another shape. So if you then want to do a little bit more of this, I'm just going to open my bag. So peel your tape up on one side. Oh, it's a nice gooey mess. Do not let them put their hands in at this point, because this is what you've got going on here. So I'm gonna splodge a bit more of that in there, and I'm gonna splodge a bit more of this one in here. Probably don't need more red because my red's kind of dark. There we go. Okay, so I've got some nice gooey paint in there. Then you've got to make sure you put your bag flat again. Gently squeeze out the air. You don't want too much air in here. Making sure you don't push your paint out the top by accident. Reseal it and retape. Okay, so you can move paint in different directions to mix it up. And by this point, my bag's starting to look a little messy. Okay, but you need a good consistency of paint, so it should feel kind of thick and squidgy. I clip it back onto my whiteboard. You can make your letters. So you should be able to feel the paint underneath, and then when you take your finger, you can outline a shape. So I've just drawn a letter L. Now it is kind of hard to see on the paper, but my L is there. I'm doing that backwards is really tricky. But what you can do is then just smooth the bag flat, and that L is completely gone. It's not there anymore. So for kids who are learning how to draw shapes or numbers or letters for the first time, or are still practicing and getting it wrong a lot in school, this is a great way of just wiping the slate clean So I can take this and I can say, okay, I'm going to practice drawing. I'm hoping that's a 7, but I think I've done it backwards. That is a 7, right? It's a very wonky 7, but that is a 7. And there should be a slight indent in the bag, and then you just wipe it clean. If you've got kids who are learning shapes, then you can ask them to do things like show me a square or show me a circle. Can you draw 2 circles interlinked? And then put sides on them, and suddenly you've got Harry Potter glasses. You might want to do things that are a little bit more complex for slightly older kids. So if you are learning about, ooh, I've got blue in my fingers, I have a leak. Uh-oh, that's not good. I think when I put the paint in, I've managed to get it on my fingers. So 3D shapes can be a little bit more tricky. So you have to make the outline of the first square and then the outline of the second. If you do this with a fingernail edge, being careful not to rip it, then the shape shows up a little bit better. I don't know whether you can see my kind of, yeah, not really, but that's what's going on here. Okay, so with your fingernail, you got to be careful that you don't go all the way through the bag. If you've got super sharp nails on, or you maybe wear acrylics, then don't try that. But the bag is completely sealed and self-contained. You can kind of squish it and move it and play with it and stretch it out and make it flat again. And yeah, the paint is definitely not coming out of the bag. I must have got it on my hand from the tube because there's definitely nothing there. Okay. The more paint you put in it, the more it ends up like a delicious mess like this. And if you want to start with just 1 or 2 colors and then gradually build it up, that's like a great way to go. So try it out. Let me know what your paint bags look like. Are they as beautiful as mine, or have you come up with something more fantastical? Another thing that you can do with the bags, which is slightly different, is to put the splodges of paint in, but with a specific picture in mind. So I'm going to have green grass, so my green is going to go along the bottom. I'm going to have a bright sunny day, so I'm going to have yellow up in the top corner to streak across my sky. And then I'm going to have some sort of a thing in the middle, maybe a person, a pet, something like that, and you have a color there that you can kind of splodge carefully into a shape. So this is more guided squidging of the paint rather than spreading it all out completely. So just a different way of doing that. So give it a try. Let me know how you get on. I'm going to be making more of these videos for different things that I come up with. So I will keep sharing them, and I'm going to be putting them all into my group. So it's Home Education Ideas for Fresh Start Tuition. Anything that I share will go in there. It's free to join and it's not a paid group. It's just a place where everything is gathered in one area and won't get lost in the newsfeed. So that's where these are going. Okay. I hope you have a lovely day, and I will see you again soon.